Now back to the crossover with Marlon Jones and Armon Williams.
All right, we are back. Welcome back to the crossover with Marlon and Armon, KDUS 1060. Subscribe and follow us on our social media accounts on both YouTube and Facebook at the crossover 1060. So that's youtube.com/ at the crossover 1060 and facebook.com/ the crossover 1060. And you can call into our listener line at 602-260-1060. Once again, that's 602-260-1060. All right, our next guest is a gentleman I've known for almost 20 years in the local comedy circuit. He tours all over the globe, from comedy clubs and concert venues to entertaining our men and women who serve the country around the world. We welcome to the program the very funny Chad Miller. Chad, Marlon Armon, what's going on, my man? What's happening, bro?
Good morning, guys. How we doing today?
We're doing good, man. Doing good. It's good to see you, man. We kicked it. We chopped it up a little bit last night. That was fun, man.
Yeah, man. That was it was funny. I was telling my friend that came up to see me. That's kind of what I've come to expect from gigs for that company.
Yeah.
Like you never really know what to expect, but it always ends up being a good time.
No, we had fun.
Man.
Yeah. Jason, you never know what Jason's going to hook you up with. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was last night. We walked in right before I got there, like the dude that was like kind of our contact there.
Right.
He came up to me, and now for those listening, we were at Maggiano's Little Italy in Scottsdale, not to brag. And it was one of their banquet rooms. And I don't know, how many people would you say that? I mean, it was 50,
pretty, yeah, it was a packed room. I mean, they had a nice audience, a nice crowd, man. I can't complain.
Yeah, and neither one of us knew anything about it. Like, well, I didn't know if they were selling tickets, if this was a private event. Like,
right.
So we get there, and the guy goes, "Do you guys need a mic?" And I was like,
yeah.
I mean, it'd be like you showing up to do a radio show, and they're like, "So what? You guys need headphones, a mic, or something? What? Like,
right? You need like studio equipment or something? What do you guys need?"
Yeah. That's kind of how this goes. I don't know. Maybe you've seen it on TV. But it was cool, man. And of course, Armon found like the oldest dude in the room sitting right up front.
Right.
That guy was awesome. What was his name? Ron?
Ron, Red Shirt Ron. Yeah. Red Shirt Ron.
Monster.
Yeah, Red Shirt Ron. Yeah.
You get roasted?
Oh, I roasted. We had a good time with him, man. We had a good time. Well, first of all, he was
there for it too.
Yeah, he was absolutely there for it.
That's why he sat front and center.
This old gentleman, this old bald white guy, he's just hanging out there. He's wearing a red shirt, like a little red Nike shirt, whatever, T-shirt. And I started talking to him about sports. I asked him, what's his favorite sport, and he's like, hockey. And I'm like, okay, first of all, you and I, we have almost like nothing in common. Then I started asking him questions. So I'm like, hockey. So where are you from? He's like, I'm from Chicago. I'm like, okay, you must be a Blackhawks fan. He's like, no, I really root for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you, dude?
I know. How do you grow up in Chicago and be like, Blackhawks? No, I'm good with that.
Yeah. So
that's odd. That's funny too. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He said something. No, he said something like, I thought he said something like, well, right now, like I'm rooting for the Maple Leafs. I'm like
right now.
Yes, right now.
Billy Bandwagon.
Yes.
Right now.
You're a perfect Phoenix resident.
Yeah, exactly. So we had
we
had a little bit of fun with that, and Chad went up and he did his thing, and then he slayed, and I opened for him, so it was an absolute honor opening for him. But how much you're a sports fan. I've known that for a while now, and you've been following kind of this historic run for the Arizona Diamondbacks, making it to the World Series.
You know what? People that know me know I grew up a Red Sox fan, even though I'm born and raised in Tucson. I cheer for Boston teams for whatever reason.
Right.
But the Diamondbacks, since they've come here, I've really, when they're good, it's really cool living in this town because, like, when the Diamondbacks are good, it's even more so than when the Suns were in the playoffs, because it seems like Suns fans and Diamondbacks fans are two totally different people. Like, Suns fans are the most apathetic. Like, they just know they've been conditioned for so long, and it's like, Yeah, they're great right now, and Booker and KD and everything. But it's the Suns; they'll find a way to screw it up. Like that's kind of how the attitude seems like. Like for Suns fans, they're always waiting for like something to happen because I guess I don't know if it was Sarver or whatever just conditioned them to. Right, but like Diamondbacks fans, it's like man, it's really cool to see. And like you guys were talking before the break, I was listening. Like man, I love seeing the small ball. Like I actually love watching that. Like a 1-0 game is totally cool with me. Like if both pitchers are just dealing, I mean, I'll sit and watch that all day. So this team has been a lot of fun to watch. They've been, like you said, just manufacturing runs. I mean, this Corbin Carroll, that kid's a stud.
Yes, he is.
Mean,
Rookie of the year. Absolutely.
Marte is doing Marte stuff again. So yeah, it's a fun team. And now I was really bummed that I have to root for the starter to get knocked out tonight. I didn't know Kelly was damn ASU.
He's an Arizona State guy. Yeah, that's right. You're surrounded, Marlon.
I'm not surrounded.
Chad Miller. Chad Miller.
Surrounded.
You're surrounded with U of A guys. Chad Miller's a U of A alum. You went to Canyon Del Oro, as you mentioned, in Tucson.
Canyon Del Oro. Oh, he is a Tucson.
Yeah,
dude.
he's a Tucson guy to the heart, and a U of A guy as well. You're Boston. You're a Boston sports guy. How does that happen, man?
They nothing else to do in Tucson.
My dad.
They nothing else to do in Tucson.
Basketball coach. I know.
Right.
And my dad was a basketball coach growing up. So, and I'm old enough. I remember the prime Celtics. You know, the Bird, McHale, DJ.
Yeah, you talking now? You talking?
I mean,
yes, right.
Yeah,
that's old school.
So my dad used to watch whenever a game would be on and the Celtics were on. I just remember my dad and I sitting, my dad just going, "Oh, look at that!" Like he was one of those that would nerd out, like, "Look at that 2-hand chest pass!" Like, oh my God! Like, I mean, he was like
old school basketball, man.
Hey, I'm the same way.
Yes, like if he'd see somebody like slapping the floor or something like that, he'd just be
get hyped.
It would be so funny. Like,
I love it.
So of course I ended up cheering for the Celtics. I was like, that team was just, especially when they got Walton, that still might be one of the greatest teams ever assembled. But
without that '86 Celtics squad, they were something.
I mean, oh man, and God rest DJ, because he's the one that always goes unforgotten. People talk about Bird, obviously McHale, but man, DJ was one of the best, but still one of my favorite point guards of all time.
One of the biggest robberies.
When the Phoenix Suns gave him up, yeah. I hated that trade. I was so pissed when they gave him up.
And then when Larry came here and just absolutely cooked,
he would always cook.
It's the legendary story about how he had a horrible game, and then all of a sudden they were down 2, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm tired of this." He's like, "I'm just going to kick in a 3 and get this over with." And told the Suns bench, "You guys don't have to worry about it. I'm just going to kick in a 3 and get out of here." But then after that, it was the '85 Super Bowl, and we didn't have the Cardinals yet, and everybody growing up in Tucson was all of a sudden magically a Bears fan, and rightfully so. That team was awesome. I mean,
it was an awesome team.
Sweetness and the Fridge, and I mean that's Singletary. I mean, just stars all over that team. And I said, you know what? The heck with it. I'm going the other way. I'll cheer for the Patriots.
You rooted for the Patriots. You know, the funny thing is, I rooted for the Patriots myself in that Super Bowl because I just jumped on the underdog wagon.
Yeah, I was just like, and that sounds weird to say. Well, not this season. It's not weird to say that the Patriots are underdogs, but I mean, recent history. You know, it's weird saying like, yeah, I cheered for the Patriots because they were underdogs, and then the following years when Buckner kicked that ball at first base. In the World Series for the Red Sox. So I was just like, boom. That's when I really started getting into sports more. So I just stuck with the Boston stuff. And like nobody was a Boston fan growing up, so I kind of liked being the only one. And then, but but U of A is really the only team I'm a real jerk about. Like that's.
They got a big game. They got a big game tonight. They got a big game tonight against Oregon State. And,
dude, I can't believe we're only 3.5-point dogs.
Yeah, hey, we got the U of A. They quietly they got a good squad. I was telling somebody. I was telling Keyshawn Johnson the other day. I was like, man, we are like literally about 6. We're about half a dozen plays away from being 6-1. This U of A football squad, literally. And
we should have beat SC.
Yeah, absolutely. We should have beat SC. We should have beat Mississippi State. We should have beat them in regulation. Look,
I should have asked Scarlett Johansson out for that date. It don't mean nothing. Come on, man. Don't nobody care.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Come on, man.
Especially from Arizona State guy like Marlon Jones, man.
Come on, man.
But look, we're talking to.
I feel that, but
yeah. We're talking to professional stand-up comedian, longtime friend of mine, Chad Miller. We only got like about a minute left. Chad, tell us before we go to a break, where are you going to be performing at next, and how do people follow you on social media?
All of my social media is real easy. It's just Chad Comedy. So like Instagram, all that is at Chad Comedy. My website's chadcomedy.com. It's currently in the middle. I've got to update it. I got to completely redo it. But my next appearance, I will be actually at the House of Comedy. Mike Dapper hooked me up with one of those. I'm going to be on one of those Sundays. I think it's November 19th.
Okay.
Is the next thing I got on the books at House of Comedy, Sunday, November 19th.
House of Comedy, man. That's a fun venue. I haven't performed there in a while. I think last time.
Yeah, it's been a minute for me too.
Yeah,
it's been like just over a year, I think. But.
Yeah. It's been about 2015 for me. All right, Chad Miller, professional stand-up comedian, a longtime friend of mine. Chad, we really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show.
Fellas, for having me on. It was good to see you again, Armon.
Absolutely.
Let's not wait so long.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that was Chad Miller. Coming up next, we've got Kyler Murray's officially off the PUP list. So will he finally suit up this weekend against the Baltimore Ravens? We'll tell you next. Crossover.